for Unit C staff, and they say no. We'll turn back $1 million to the town. Right. We work to rule because they won't do their job. We will do our job. So today, we're going to show the town of Wellesley and each other how powerful our jobs are. We are the glue that holds this community together. We are the people that bring pride to the town of Wellesley, and we will continue to bring pride to the town of Wellesley. We will continue to show them what an educated union looks like. We will continue to show them how powerful we are, because we, friends, are amazing. I am so excited that all of you are here today. I am excited for all of you to hear from some of our incredible speakers. And we're also going to do something that we haven't done before at a rally. We are going to take a walk. Who feels like walking? That's right. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Kate to tell you exactly how we're going to walk, and then we're going to hear more from our speakers. Thank you, everybody. Stay the course.
Welcome. Beautiful day for a rally. I am Kate. I am a Unit C member from Sprague Elementary School. I have been working in Wellesley Public Schools since 2018. We have first up on our list of speakers, we have Miranda.
All right, hello, my name is Miranda, and this is my first year working at Wellesley Public Schools. I'm a special education teaching assistant at Sprague Elementary School. Members of the community and some educators are asking why we still do not have a contract after 286 days. There's also been mass confusion about work to rule, which membership voted overwhelmingly to adopt beginning 2 days ago. This confusion is mostly due to school committee's emails defaming the WEA and depicting its members as uncompromising and greedy. This couldn't be further from the truth. School committee are the ones who have delayed negotiations for 3 months. They delayed initial negotiation for 3 months and then refused to even counter any of the WEA's central demands, what we refer to as a Fair Five, for another 5 months. The WEA has no chance of negotiation when management's constant refrain was no interest. School committee has only moved since the proceedings at the table were made public, and the union has started its public campaign in November. Since then, educators have had 3 rallies, walkouts and standouts after school, talked to residents, and have been at 3 nights of public meeting, at town meeting. We've also strategized with the MTA and other educator locals and more. We are doing work to rule because we have to. Our rallying, protesting outside of negotiations, our collective action is what forced the school committee to offer some concessions. Just Cause for Unit C is one of these. However, it's just one of the Fair Five. It is budget neutral, and it is something all other Wellesley educators have and all surrounding districts have for their employees. We should have already got this. So this shows that nothing but direct action will force the school committee to settle a fair contract. The WEA has already significantly pulled back its original demands. We have decreased 40% on our compensation asks. For example, we originally asked for raises that would get ESP's starting salary to $35,000 a year. Management's last offer would have TAs and paras earn less than $29,000 a year by school year 2025 to 2026. Yeah. A living wage in Wellesley today is over $51,000, and the past couple of years have seen record levels of inflation. We are doing work to rule and will continue our collective actions because we have no other option. Looking at the recent examples of Brookline, Malden, Haverhill, Quincy, and more, we can see that educators only force concessions by engaging in escalating campaigns alongside the community and other workers. That is the thing that puts pressure on school management and forces their hand. As educators and workers, we deserve a living wage, parental leave, adequate prep time, and basic job security. Our students do better when our educators are not living paycheck to paycheck, when their educators have the time to create and adapt lessons, when specialists can collaborate with classroom teachers and create more integrated lessons. If the community is worried that the WEA actions will hurt students, they should know that by doing nothing, students are already hurting. High staff turnover rates of Unit C folks and the forcing out of elementary specialists because of job instability has been and is hurting students. The reallocation of once teacher-directed prep time to management-determined meetings is currently hurting students. I'm working alongside many educators who have been teaching for decades. They know the best ways to run their classrooms and their schools. They know what's best for themselves and their students. We will keep up the escalation campaign until we win the working conditions we, educators, and all workers deserve.
Thank you, Miranda. Up next, we have Derek. Come on up.
Funny thing happened last week. I was at town meeting, and I actually heard the school committee advocating for the schools. It was really strange. They were talking about Unit C and the ESPs and saying how that all their work really helps with inclusion services, how it helps, not only does it help net costs for the district, but it also helps with our values of teaching students in the district. I was really surprised to hear it because for the last 9 months, all I've got from them is misleading, passive-aggressive emails to us in the town, basically saying that this whole thing would be over if we weren't so greedy. I don't know about you, but I'm not here because of greed. And I'm going to talk more about that in a second. I want to address another claim they continue to make. They keep saying that they have matched all our cost of living requests. And Unit A and B had requested 11% over 3 years. And after a long time, they finally grudgingly said, okay, 11% over 4 years, and they call that a match. Let's say I'm hiring someone to watch my kids. They come in and say, hey, I'd like $20 an hour. I say, yeah, I can match that. I'll give you $20 every 80 minutes. They're going to walk away. That's a joke. So it is categorically false that they have matched our cost of living request. And if you hear anyone make that claim, please correct them immediately. Thank you. And again, what is a cost of living adjustment? It is not a raise. It is a tool meant to help us keep our spending power in the face of inflation. In 2021, inflation was 7%. In 2022, it was 6.5%. It is finally starting to get under control, but the fact of the matter is that this cost of living adjustment will not keep up with that. And as a result, we're going to have less spending power at the end of this contract. Okay, fine. I am willing to accept that. We have negotiated, we have accepted 11%, we've mostly accepted that, and it's not great, it's not terrible, it is a modest adjustment. So back to the greed thing. Greed is an intense or selfish desire for something. So who is selfish here? Is Unit C selfish for wanting a salary that could actually pay their rent? No. I don't think so. Is Unit A and B, are we selfish here? So if I look at this, if I'm being completely selfish, I'm a high school teacher, I'm not an elementary teacher, so the prep thing, I'm not a specialist, I'm not having any more kids. If I really, really wanted to be selfish, I could look at this and say, what am I fighting for? Why am I still doing this? If school committee really thinks that we're just being greedy, why are we all still here? And the answer is, we're here for each other and for our students. If ESPs don't get a fair wage, we do not retain them, and the students suffer. And the district pays more money for out-of-placement services. We have, even this year, almost a dozen positions unfilled in Wellesley, Massachusetts. This is supposed to be one of the wealthiest districts in the state, and we have almost a dozen positions unfilled. In 3 years, Woburn, Massachusetts will be paying their ESPs a starting salary of $42,000. Under this contract currently proposed, in 3 years, ours will be making $32. How is that going to work? It won't. And it's not just, it's ESP, it's also our elementary ed and our parental leave. They need to feel supported to be the best educators they can be. And school committee knows this because they were making a lot of the same arguments last week. So the question is, why aren't they doing everything they can to settle this contract? And they'll use the excuse that it's about money, the budget, they can't do it. But they're refusing to counter on things that aren't even related to the money. They proposed the Joint Labor Management Committee to investigate and try to figure out a way around the specialist issue. This was David's own idea originally. And they said, no interest. I have no interest in reading any more of their condescending emails. I know this is a tough position for some of you. You came into teaching and you're worried maybe that some of our actions might hurt the students, and you came here to be someone who supports students, that helps students, and I get that. And yes, some of our actions can be disruptive, and maybe there are going to be some negative impacts on student learning for a time. But this is a 4-year contract. We take these short-term actions because a bad contract that is going to be in effect until the summer of 2026. Think how long that is just in terms of things. That's going to have a much more severe impact over the long haul. So we're here, we fight for each other, we fight for our students together. It shouldn't solely be on us to do this. We should not be the ones having the fight for these resources for our students. But if school committee will not do its job, and frankly, aside from last week, that brief moment, doesn't seem like they are, then it falls on us. So we do this together, and together we all win. Thank you.
Thank you, Derek. All right, up next, we have Kitty Court.
Hi. I don't know if you were at town meeting recently where I did speak. I don't think I should repeat everything that I said, but I wrote something up that maybe is just a little bit clearer. So I've lived in Wellesley for over 30 years, and I taught in the system for about 17 years. I'm so grateful that you're all here fighting the good fight, because about 15 years ago, I was trying to fight the good fight, and I wasn't getting anywhere, and doors were closing, and people were shutting me out about all of you and what you do for us. And my husband and I are so grateful. Our children had such a great experience. But I can't tell you that it's the quality of you ESPs that work with our teachers that give our schools and our children the education they need to grow and to mature to caring, thoughtful adults. We owe you educators in the classroom so much, but Wellesley is not recognizing that right now, and it is so disappointing. I worry that the school committee and leadership has chosen not to prioritize and reward educators for what they do for our children. I encourage, if there are parents here of our children in the system, to send a message to the school committee that we want teachers to be recognized, that they deserve a new contract with the Fair Five that reflect their contribution to our children every day. And it's It's an injustice that they have not done this for you. And I'm embarrassed as a town, citizen that pays taxes, that they are not prioritizing who touches our children every day. And it may look to them like, oh, we have all these TAs and blah, blah, blah. The other day, I went in to substitute in an art classroom. That teacher is on leave, so we have a substitute art teacher. I went in to substitute, so it's been a little bit of a challenge. And thank God for the ESPs that were in those classrooms. Yes, I could read her plans, but they really knew the projects, those art projects that they were working on, and what the goals were. And without them, I wouldn't have been able to run the classroom the way I did. So I am so grateful for you. So keep fighting. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kitty. Up next, we have Isabel, who is a high school student at WHS.
Hello, Wellesley educators and community members. My name is Isabel and I'm a junior at Wellesley High School. After 285 days, the school committee has continuously decided to not grant our educators a fair and respectable contract. So as of Monday, April 10th, our WPS educators began work to rule. Many may not know that our teachers' work hours technically start at 7:30 and end at 2:30 or 3:05. But however, a teacher's job does not start at 7:30 and does not end at 2:30. Our teachers are consistently present for their students throughout their highs and lows. Many people in our community don't understand the amount of work and effort our teachers put into their jobs, because for our teachers, it's not just a job. They help us learn and grow into the people we are today. That's why I'm here once again fighting for my teachers. Last week, I attempted to speak at the Wellesley Town meeting. I had spent time and effort working on a statement to share with community members and the school committee, but I was not able to share it because the moderator decided I would not be allowed to finish my statement. At the town meeting, my voice, as well as many others, were continuously shut down. We all have a voice and we should be able to use it. Today, I will use my voice to share the full statement I previously attempted to share. Our Wellesley Public School teachers and educators have been working without a contract for 285 days. This is incredibly unfair for my teachers and my fellow classmates. At Wellesley High School, I have the unique perspective of being enrolled in all 3-level courses: college preparatory, advanced college preparatory, and honors. I'm extremely grateful for the teaching assistants in my CP class and learning center, as they are a big help for my education. They are essential to the school and as they support classes in every single department. In order to successfully support all students, our ESPs are expected to have an understanding of all the languages that are taught: chemistry, physics, biology, English, history, and all the math courses we have. Their help in these classes are not only vital to the students, but to the teachers as well. Each of our CP classes are supposed to have an ESP, but many don't, making it more difficult for teachers to manage and uphold all of the necessary elements of every student's IEP. This impacts students as well, because when we have a TA, there are more opportunities to get questions answered and receive help. One of the main reasons we cannot retain competitive ESPs is because of their salary. They currently make $25,000 a year, and the lack of a living wage is unacceptable. Over the course of a year, students start to build a relationship with their ESP. But without a living wage, the ESPs have no other option than to look elsewhere for a job that will truly demonstrate their respect for them, like Somerville, which has increased their starting salary for ESPs to $30,000. One of Wellesley High School's goals is for students to have an adult in the building that they can trust, and for many, that is the ESP in their classes and/or learning centers. Please help taxpayer funds go towards helping students by funding a living wage for ESPs. We need to be able to support our ESPs so that they can continue to create and maintain these crucial relationships with us, the students. I feel that every time we attempt to create a change, the school committee ignores the problem. It's incredibly aggravating. Throughout the past few months, there's been a consistent effort from the WEA. Rally number 1, rally number 2, town meeting nights 1 through 3, the vote of no confidence, and now work to rule. What is it going to take for there to be a change from our school committee? So today I stand here asking community members, parents, and students to please help our educators fight for the contract they deserve. Thank you.
We are going to have an open mic section. I'd like to preface this with ready to chant. You can come up and say Fair Five now. You can come up and talk about your experiences working, living, learning in Wellesley. We would love to hear from more people, so we're hoping I know we have a few people who are ready to come up. So if you want to, come on up.
My name is Nick Wurst. I have two hats that I wear right now. I'm a member of Railroad Workers United, and I'm a member of the Independent Socialist Group. I work out in Framingham for a freight railroad, and I've been to a few of your rallies and a few of your standouts, and I just want to say, both as an organized socialist and a railroad worker we've just gone through heck and back with our contract, that we're here to support you because this is the exact same fight. And I want to offer our solidarity. It's the same fight everywhere, whether it's the railroads, whether it's Wellesley, whether it's in my hometown of Worcester, where our teachers have been going without a contract for almost a year now and are fighting our school committee about it. Workers everywhere were caught between rising costs of living, rising costs of housing, inflation, and wages that are stagnant. I just want to point out, they pay you guys poverty wages and expect you to supply your own work materials. That is criminal. That's costs that the school system should be bearing, not you as workers who are already underpaid and underworked. And so it's no wonder that, in our case, it was the federal government, but for you guys, it's this city government that wants to put a stop to all this. You know, they're afraid. Things are heating up, and we're approaching International Workers' Day, May 1st. I know there's going to be rallies in Boston and other places where workers are going to be talking about the issues that they're fighting, whether it's in the schools or whether it's in the factories or anything like that. And this is part of all that. There's 350,000 UPS workers, the largest private sector union workforce, that's getting ready to strike in August. And that fight could be a breakthrough for the union movement, the same way that educators led the breakthrough with the West Virginia teachers strike that kicked off the Red for Ed movement across the United States a few years ago. And it's not just in the US, it's in Massachusetts. You know, you guys are part of the largest union in the state. And we have to make sure that they understand that and that they respect that. They're afraid of this continuing, honestly, not because they're afraid of time. They think time is on their side. They think they can wait you out and starve you out. They think that workers who have dealt with this for so long are just going to give up and go home one day. And that's not going to happen. They're not afraid of negotiating prowess or strongly worded emails or even sitting through city council or school committee meetings where they get the full brunt of the anger of the community. They're not even afraid of our numbers, even though we've got a lot more than them. They're afraid of the fact that at the end of the day, despite what they tell you, despite what they tell us, they can't do your job. And it takes someone special to do the work that we do. And without us, whether it's the railroads, whether it's the schools, nothing works. That's what they're afraid of. And that's what they're going to respect. So once again, I just want to offer our support and say that, you know, they're going to say you're greedy. They said the same thing about us. They're going to say you only care about yourselves. They said the same thing about us. Our working conditions are the community's safety, as everybody's seen with all the derailments. But your working conditions are students' learning conditions, our students' safety. It determines whether or not those kids are going to get into good colleges, whether they're going to get good jobs, is the work that you do every day. And so that's what the power of the WEA is and what all unions are. So thank you for doing what you do and leading the fight across the state.
Hey everyone. Last time we were out here, we were freezing and we were standing in a snowbank. The first time, right? A couple months ago. Well, here we are. Another rally. Are you tired? I know you're tired. I'm tired too. I'm tired of wearing this shirt. I'm tired of putting it on. I got the sweatshirt because I wanted to be warm with not wearing the t-shirt, wearing the sweatshirt. Now we're back to wearing the t-shirt. We've been at this for almost 300 days. Our nerves are frayed, but we have to remember that this is not just for us, as the previous speakers have said. This is not just for us. This is for those who may come after us, if there's anyone left who still wants to be a teacher. We are fighting for the future of our profession, to get the respect it deserves as one of, if not the, most honorable professions. So when you feel tired, remember why we're doing this, and put the shirt on again.
I am tired too. I'm also tired of having us all have to go to these rallies and wear the red shirts. But like Derek said, this isn't about greed, because I'm getting virtually nothing if this contract passes, 11% over 4 years. I am doing this for the ESPs that deserve a living wage. I am doing this so that all educators have the same parental leave. I am doing this for equality and equity. I think we cannot forget that we need to keep doing this because they want us to stop. They want us to be tired and quit. That's what they're counting on. They want to divide us. We have to keep going even when we think it's not working, because like someone said, when we started doing this, that's when they started making movement. We have to be patient. I get people that say this isn't working, why do we keep doing these rallies? Where I want to go forward is by educating the community, because those emails are lies. They are not true, and they have a public relation person that they spend more than 4 times an ESP's salary to spin the truth and make the community not trust us, but to trust them. I want people sending emails, inundating David Lucier's mailbox, inundating the school committee's mailbox, and asking these questions. Why won't you use all your available resources, including over $1 million in free cash, to settle the educator's contract? Why won't you offer a salary for first-year ESPs that is above $30,000 and above the poverty line? Why are you asking educators to take a pay cut in order to provide a living wage for ESPs? Why won't you allow all educators to have the same parental rights? Why don't elementary educators have the same amount of prep time as their middle and high school colleagues? And why are you trying to take more of it away from them? Why won't you agree to the WEA's offer for a joint labor management committee to explore the issue of FTE for elementary specialists? Why do you refuse to meet face-to-face with the WEA, even with the mediator in the room? Why do you continue to refuse to counter the WEA's proposals? What will it take for you to settle a fair contract and stop wasting our educators' time that they could be using to prepare for teaching our children? And finally, if you are being honest and transparent, then why not offer a time and place where parents and other residents can ask questions to the WEA and school committee? I will speak to any Wellesley resident, and I'm tempted to spend $300 to put a full-page ad in the Wellesley Townsman sharing my thoughts. If anyone wants to join me in educating parents in whatever legal ways that we are allowed to, I'm fine doing it, because I am tired of them spinning the truth. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Joe Heresy. I'm a retired MTA member. I taught in the South Shore for 21 years. I'm also on the MTA Board of Directors, and I organize with Educators for a Democratic Union and with Randolph Tenants United. I'm here today, though, in my capacity as an MTA wisdom warrior. We're volunteer, thank you. We're retired members who come to support you all and also function as volunteer organizers. So we've been speaking with members across the Commonwealth who are in the struggle for better learning conditions just like you are. So today I wanted to share some of what I've learned from those folks and those conversations to see how it applies to you here in Wellesley, and whether you're an educator, a parent, or just a community member, because we're all in this fight together. I don't think anyone I spoke to comes to this work just because they want better wages. They do, of course, want and deserve better wages. But we all are aware of being part of public school communities. Even on the issue of wages, as we've heard many times already, we're about more pay for ESPs and paras, because the lowest paid and some of the hardest working educators during the school day really help build our community. I was so encouraged yesterday when I was in Braintree, and the Unit A educators all talked about how we need more pay and more paras and better working conditions for those educators. I've heard the same in Brookline, Haverhill, Malden, Melrose, Canton, Woburn, Weymouth, Quincy, and when I've been here in the past in Wellesley as well. Everyone is also concerned about the health of our students, both physically and emotionally. The bosses talk about kids' needs, but they refuse to provide the resources, the staffing, the scheduling, and the proper building conditions that we need to build our communities to help kids grow. That's why we are in this fight, and that's the moral ground that gives us the strength to win, just as many other locals already have, and I'm sure you will too. Now, everyone wonders why the bosses don't do what seems obvious to everyone. And I've heard some good explanations about that here as well. Greed, incompetence, but I think it goes beyond that too. Looking at the big picture about how things have changed in recent decades, in political trends, because school committee members, after all, are politicians and they follow political trends. One of the biggest is often called austerity, which is really just a political decision to not invest in public schools. They pretend like it's just a fact of life. Money's not there. But that's nonsense. It's a political decision that they make. It comes from business interests who see our communities as markets and people as commodities and burdens, instead of part of the wonderful community that we all see around us here today. That's why they give us crude evaluation measures like MCAS testing and other measures. I'm sure you've also seen this outside of your workplace as well, in your lives, in the lives of the people that you know and love. When it comes to the ability to afford a roof over your head, the ability to afford medical care, and even food. These are issues that are common to every community in the Commonwealth and in our nation. The good news is that just as we unite here for better learning conditions for all our students and all our educators in Wellesley, we are uniting across the state with other locals in solidarity. As we all fight for better public schools, that's right, give it up for all the other locals too. So as we fight for better public schools, we are fighting for a better world where all our kids can thrive. Now tell me, are the schools for bosses or are the schools for us? Whose schools?
Our schools.
Whose schools?
Our schools.
Whose schools?
Our schools.
Whose town?
Our town.
Whose town?
Our town.
Whose town?
Our town.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Solidarity.
Hey, I'm Bob Miller. I just retired from being a middle school science teacher in Brookline and the vice president. A year ago, I was doing what you're doing today, standing in front of Brookline Town Hall. And I came up here really just to answer the question, why do I keep coming back? Because this is my third time here in Wellesley in front of Town Hall. And the reason that I come back is the reason that you're here, because we're not going away. You don't stand alone. You won't stand alone. You're doing this for yourselves, you're doing it for your students, and you're doing it for every other union in this state.
Hi,
My name is Alexa Pekowitz. I'm Karen Pekowitz's daughter. I've lived in Wellesley for almost 10 years now, more than 10 years. I've been at Wellesley Public Schools from kindergarten until now. I'm a sophomore at Wellesley High School. I just want to say a huge thank you to all of my teachers who I've had over the course of my entire education, because without you guys, I wouldn't be like the person I am today. And like what teachers do is so amazing and changes so many lives. So just a huge thank you.
When we fight! When we fight! Hi everybody, I'm Marion The Jimmy. I'm your past president of the MTA. I thought I'd take a drive on a nice day and just say hello and remind you not to give up. Before the pandemic, being with our students was joyful. No matter what else was going on, it was joyful to come and be with them. And it was labor of love to come into work every day. But it was labor. And before the pandemic, we were constantly being told, do more with less, achieve higher. And it was a push to just keep going and going, and it was breakneck, and it wasn't right, and it wasn't fair, and it wasn't healthy then. And then during the pandemic, you literally put your health, your safety, and your lives on the line. And now after the pandemic, they want us to go back to a normal that wasn't good before, and they're continuing to pile on. More initiatives, more bullshit with the science of reading, as if none of us know how to teach reading and we've been doing it wrong for 30 years. Right? What you are doing matters not just to Wellesley and not just to the students. It matters to every single MTA local across the state, and you are bigger than yourselves. You are part of the MTA. And when we watched Brookline go on strike, followed by Haverhill, and followed by Malden, and then Melrose, and then Woburn, what we saw was, when we fight, we win. And we win what we need for ourselves as educators, as human beings, and we win what we need for our students. So don't give up. The more you fight, the more you gain the public's admiration and respect. And let's say it one more time. When we fight, we win.
All right, just a couple of things before we march. Our next bargaining session is Tuesday, April 25th, which is the Tuesday after vacation. Please come and stand outside the DPW. Offer to be a silent rep. Get in touch with Kat and find out how to become a silent rep. And see this shuttle diplomacy in action and how ineffective it really has been. Follow the WEA on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to see details of upcoming actions. And for WEA members, please put 1 month from now, May 12th, on your calendars, 7 p.m. virtually. Got too close. 7 p.m. virtually, there is a general membership meeting. Please come on. If you have to pull over and be in your car on the side of the road, then, safely. Please do that. We really need everyone to be there. All right. So, if we are ready to take a little walk in this lovely weather, I believe we have somebody who is willing to lead us in a chant.
All right, I'm going to teach this. I'll do it once and then I'll break it down. It goes, just 500K away. Why are we waiting another day? We need a contract today. You repeat after me. Just 500K away.
Just 500K away.
Why are we waiting another day?
Why are we waiting another day?
We need a contract today.
We need a contract today.
Fair 5 now. Just 500K now. All right, so that's the idea, but we got to start walking too. Give us some ideas for walking. We're just going to start walking and marching. We have some drummers. Follow the drummers.
Okay, today was the WEA's third rally for a fair contract. We have been without a contract for almost 300 days now. We're really close together, but the school committee needs to move because what we are asking for, what we call the Fair Five, are reasonable requests to make the lives of educators and their working conditions better so that the learning conditions for our students can be that much better. The only real movement we have seen from school committee on the negotiations has come since we made our positions and what's happening in these negotiations public, and we've seen a lot of movement since we started these rallies. We just love it when people show up and have a lot of good energy to share their stories and what's going on. It's very disappointing that school committee is saying one thing to the town and saying the exact opposite to the WEA in negotiations. School committee is still meeting virtually, even though they were supposed to begin meeting in person again in January. They mysteriously suddenly no longer had any place to meet in person and are now meeting virtually, continuing to meet virtually. We've had a lot of people speak out in support of us and getting us a fair contract at those meetings. Please get involved. Also, if you want, you can always email school committee and Superintendent Lucier and tell them that you support the WEA's Fair Five and that the teachers need a contract now.